Alrighty then, we are live now. So hello everybody. Um, hope everybody's had a good week this week. I hope everybody's ready for some um for some comics history. Hey Rick, how's your week been?
Pretty good, pretty good. Going up a little bit in my campaign. Uh, could be doing better, but hey, I just came from a games night at my church, which was real good. Played a new version of Uno. Uno Flipped.
Huh.
Actually, two new versions: Uno Flipped and Uno All Wild.
Hmm.
But yeah, my week's been going good.
Yeah. Well, I play Uno through Facebook.
Yeah,
On the Facebook games. So I like that, among other games, of course.
yeah.
Um, yeah, right. Well, I guess it's just you and me. Um, yeah, and of course, Facebook or not Facebook, but YouTube is only registering one person watching. I guess it's just me.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Oh, there we go. We got two viewers now. Is that you or is that
No, not me, not me.
so somebody else just came in?
Oh,
Hey,
Woody.
Woody. It's Woody. Hey, Woody. How you doing, my friend? If you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be terrific. So, yeah, we're gonna wait at least a couple minutes here, give people a chance to come in. Um, well, yeah, I hope you've been having a good week thus far. Hope everything's been fine with you. Let's see.
So yeah, tonight you were saying be on the back stream before we started, where you're going to be reading, telling a little bit of history of Ace Comics or Ace Comics 25.
Okay, no, okay. I'll read. Oh, yeah, I'll reiterate here. Okay, so the two companies we're gonna focus on tonight are David McKay Publications
Okay.
and and Fox Feature Syndicate. From David
Okay.
McKay Publications, we're going to be looking at Ace Comics Volume 1, Number 25. We're just going to do some summary work there.
Ah.
Um, um, going to take a quick peek at that. And then for Fox Feature Syndicate, we're going to be looking at Wonder Comics number 1. Well, before we look at the actual comic, of course, we're going to be reading some history on it, because it was in March that it started up. So we'll read a little history on it, um, and then we'll get into the feature comic,
Feature articles that we're gonna.
the feature stories. Get
Yeah.
into like reading the stories and all that. So that's basically what's on tap for tonight.
And then of course at the end, neat today in Nietzsche
Right.
history.
Yep. That and any other minor announcements. Yeah. So let me just check something here. Let's see. I'm just gonna check to see if I got any replies back yet on Facebook or anything like that. Yeah. But then again, on Facebook it says that Chris hadn't been on for like 15 hours. So, uh,
Yeah.
but I get that. And Woody's saying he's doing fine, thanks. Okay, and of course, and I'll probably say this repeatedly throughout the night. As we're reading the stories and stuff, if there's anything, anytime you guys want, anything catches your attention, you want to chime in on or ask about, feel free to do so. That includes you, Rick. If you something you want to
Yeah.
commentate on, that's also part of it, the commentary. You know, um, so one of the interesting things we're going to, of course, be looking at tonight is one of the earliest situations of DC's litigious history of going after companies if they feel that they were infringing on their rights.
Their IPs, like faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. It's Superman.
Yeah. So let's see. We're at the
Yeah.
okay. So we're just past the 5-minute mark. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. There's 3 of us here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get started here with it, with the content.
This sounds great. Yeah.
Because I know we got quite a bit to do. We got quite a bit to go through tonight. So I know I need to start probably a little quicker than
I
usual.
know, and who knows how many rabbit trails I'll get you down.
Oh,
Hopefully not too many.
all right. Well, this first part is going to, as I said, be kind of a quickie part here. And when we do get to the readings, Rich, of course, I'll put the link in the private chat so you can get to it and
Yeah, I've got to go read those comics. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Just
well, I
sit
know
down by
you said you wanted to go back and see if you would read more of that one story.
Yeah, well, quite a few of the ones in that one. Well, there was the Crime Buster one that plus the other two,
John Carter of Mars.
John Carter Mars, the one for the guys, the rancher stuff.
Oh, Bronx Dealer.
Yeah, the one where that one guy was, trying to swindle the woman out of her ranch.
Mm-hmm. And there was also Bosco, the
Yeah.
anthropomorphic. All right, so here we go. You see right here, this is the cover of issue number 25 of Ace Comics right here, starring Blondie, and the 2 little characters right there. Those are the Katzenjammer kids. Now, from what I understand, the Katzenjammer kids were quite a popular feature back in the old days there. So there's the comic right there.
Yeah. You look at this stuff. This stuff would have been easy to draw, in my opinion, compared to
the early days of comics. Like one of the other things that makes these so cool that they are kind of more cartoony in nature.
Yeah.
In terms of the art style, it's more cartoon, more fun. Whereas nowadays, it is more realistic. There are pros and cons. The pro and cons to either way you look at it. But these are more cartoon. I mean, you could argue these were maybe try to made for kids a little bit more, but see, volume. You have the price was 10 cents USD, which we all know.
I think 10 cents US. I think it's 10 cents everywhere. It would have been 10 cents in Canada too.
Yeah. Well, this was still a very. I mean, this was 1939. This was still a very young medium.
Yeah.
On sale date, according to this, was March 3rd, 1939. So
that was certainly before I was born.
That was long before I was born too. That's long before probably any of us were born. I don't know. There's maybe Doc Blaylock or Rex Devilfly, Woody maybe. Those guys are the ones that probably were the closest to that time period. But still, that was even before their times. So
yeah.
But as I've mentioned before in some of my, and YouTube being funny again by saying that, or not YouTube, but StreamYard is being funny again by saying that that there's nobody watching here.
Yeah. Who cares about StreamYards? Except the fact that you use it to make sure you have a stable internet connection to show your program.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so anyways, and now according to the issue notes here, the on sale date is from the publication date recorded in the catalog and copyright entries. Part 2, periodicals, 1941, new series, volume 36, number 4. No index title. What they're saying here is, of course, the Katzenjammer kids on the cover, one page, penciled and inked by Joe Musial, and then the character of Hans, Fritz, and Mama, and keyword fishing there. So now, this, as I said, they just say skeletal data here, which just simply means this is all the information they have. Sometimes they'd have more information. Sometimes they'll have like
Yeah.
a list of stories and all that. But for this particular issue, that's all they had. And see, if it's in white like that, means that that's all it has, skeleton data. And then you see all the
the different
and
things.
as the thing says here, Ace is comprised almost exclusively of King Features newspaper strip reprints. So that's all I can really say on that. I can tell you that I wonder, yeah, you know, Ace Comics, the features I can tell you that are in there, like Captain Jamma Kid, Blondie, I think Phantom is another one that's in there. So I don't know if you know who Phantom is, unless you watch.
Like the Phantom,
Yeah, the
or
Phantom. Like
that's got the purple costume.
right, Kit Walker. Yeah, the Phantom, Mandrake the Magician, and Flash Gordon. You could argue are some of the superhero titles that King Feature Syndicate came out with.
Did they come out, or were they from what's the name of it? What's the word? The Pulp Fiction stuff beforehand, and then made into comics?
I don't know if they were Pulp Fiction. Like some of the other stuff we'll probably be reading is more closer, like Gangbuster Robinson, like the Crime Buster story would be considered probably Pulp Fiction kind of.
Yeah.
From last
Like I was just wondering whether, like, say the Phantom was written as Pulp Fiction before he actually got his sequential art comics type stuff.
No, I think he was always somewhat of a superhero. I think that he was always depicted as a superhero. No, I remember the cartoon, the 1986 cartoon Defenders of the Earth, that brought like those characters together. So, anyways, as I said, getting here and I'll unshare the screen here for a moment while I go and look up the Fox Feature Syndicate wiki so we can get that out of the way. Let's see.
Time to get foxy. I would have no idea what you would mean by that, but about time to get foxy. But
Time to get where do you see that?
no, I'm just making it up, you know.
Oh, because of the fact we're going into Fox Feature Syndicates?
Yeah.
All right, so
does that mean we're about to get sexy, sly? Depends what you want to use the term fox for, right? Crazy as a fox, you know? That was in a TV show once upon a time. Crazy as Fox, I think. Just trying to fill the dead air while you do that.
While I'm setting this stuff up here. Yeah, well, thank you for that. All right, so let me see. I've got some. I'm gonna read a couple of.
Well, I know this will probably be the first time that I've read something from the Fox periodicals.
Yeah, well, yeah, only because this company started in 1939, and then I think like a lot of companies that started around this year ended sometime in the
40s,
in the 50s, early 50s. So, anyways, let's share the screen here now that I have found the actual page for that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because a lot of when the superhero era ended from the 30s, a lot of comics ended up going out of business.
Well, what you may not know too, Rick, and we'll be looking at this later on because Blue Beetle originally was actually a part of Fox Feature Syndicate.
Yeah.
In fact, in his very first appearance, he was more akin to like the Crimson Avenger, Sandman, and Green Hornet.
Yeah, yeah, very different than when
than what he would become known for. So
by Ted Cord, and then even now with
well,
Jamie,
yeah,
whatever his last name is.
okay. Well, Ted Cord would follow Dan Garrett. Dan Garrett was the first Blue Beetle.
Yeah. But he
Well,
was way different than probably Dan Garrett, as a Blue Beetle, and then of course, the most recent one of
Jaime
Jamie.
Reyes.
Yeah, Jamie Reyes. He's
Yeah.
completely different with the bug on his back.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Fox Feature Syndicate, also known as Fox Comics and Fox Publications, was a comic book publisher from early in the period known to fans and historians as the golden age of comic books. Let's see. Founded by entrepreneur Victor S. Fox, it produced such titles as Blue Beetle, as we just talked about, Fantastic Comics, and Mystery Men Comics. Actually, it was in Mystery Men Comics, I believe, #1, where Blue Beetle made his first actual published appearance. So
Now, I'm not sure whether you will know this or not, but the Mystery Men comics would have anything to do with the Mystery Men movie?
No, I don't believe.
Because
Okay,
they're both
Mystery
superheroes.
Man. Okay, Mystery Man or Mystery Men was a term they used for superheroes. That the idea of the guys who would wear the costumes or wear some form of disguise.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times the guys might dress in like a business suit with a fedora and a mask on. Those guys were listed as mystery men.
Yeah. Well, this is Mystery Men. The movie is about about superheroes, but it's almost making fun. It's almost a parody on them.
Yeah. Well, again, Mystery Men. Okay, Mystery Men or Mystery Men were basically the early terms for what we would call superheroes today.
Yeah.
Because the idea was they wore a mask to conceal their identity to protect, their those around them.
Well, with like I said, with the movie, they all had stupid powers and all that, and it's
I doubt
Ben
in this case, Mystery
Stiller.
Men comics and that movie probably have nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
Aside from the fact that they involve superheroes, that's about the only thing they probably. Okay. It is.
Sorry for the tangent.
All right. It is unrelated to the company Fox Publications, a Colorado publisher of railroad photography books. So that's probably something they wanted to let people know. Okay, so here's kind of the background of it. So Victor S. Fox and business associate Bob Farrell launched Fox Feature Syndicate at 480 Lexington Avenue in New York City in the late 1930s. For content, Fox contracted with comics packager Eisner and Iger. That's Will Eisner and Sam Iger. Okay. And at this point in time, Eisner and Iger were doing that for a number of companies. They were doing that not just for Fox here, but also for like Quality Comics, for Fiction House Comics. They were doing it for a few companies. So one of a handful of companies creating comic books on demand for publishers and entering the field. Writer artist Will Eisner at Victor Fox. Now this is the thing that I was talking about earlier. So here's something you're going to want to really pay attention to here. Okay. Writer artist Will Eisner at Victor Fox's request for a hero to mimic the newly created Superman created the superhero Wonder Man for Fox's first publication, Wonder Comics #1. The cover date May of 1939. On sale date March of 1939. Signing his work. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this Wonder Man that's in this comic. Would it be the same Wonder Man that's in Marvel Comics today?
No. It's completely different. And we'll get into that too. I'll do a little profile work on Wonder Man here after we get through this. So and
Okay.
before we head over to actually do the reading. Okay. Um, Signing his work, Willis, quote unquote, Eisner, said in Willis, Eisner said in interviews throughout his later life that he had protested the derivative nature of the character and story, and that when subpoenaed after national periodical, now he said this later in life because according to some records that were found in 2010, you know,
Yeah.
um, initially he had actually supported Fox's initial claim that this was original work. And
Yeah.
then later in life said that it was. But when subpoenaed after the National Periodical Publications, the company that would evolve into DC Comics, sued Fox, alleging Wonder Man was an illegal copy of Superman. Now, when we read the story, one of the things I will ask after we've read it will be, do you believe they had a claim? But we'll get into that a little later when we actually go and read it.
Uh-huh.
Eisner testified that this was so, undermining Fox's case. Eisner even depicts himself doing so in his semi-autobiographical graphic novel, The Dreamer. However, a transcript of the proceeding, uncovered by comics historian Ken Quattro in 2010, indicates Eisner in fact supported Fox and claimed Wonder Man was an original Eisner creation. Let's see. Now, I'm just going to now this last paragraph will be the last part we'll read from this before we'll go back and look specifically at Wonder Man. After losing at trial, Victor Fox dropped Eisner and Iger and hired his own stable of comic creators, beginning with New York Times classified ad on December 2nd, 1939. Joe Simon, a former Eisner and Iger freelancer, became Fox Publications editor. So that's all we'll read from this for right now. We're just going to go over and read a little bit on Wonder Man here real quick. And then we'll get into as the saying goes, we'll get into our feature presentation, as it were.
So this Wonder Man is probably in public domain.
Theoretically, yeah. I mean, it is a part of Comics Switch Plus because I did look this up and was able to find it. So, and to everybody out there, if anything catches your attention that you want to comment on or chime in on or ask about, feel free to do so. And if I can answer the question, I'll do my best to do so. See right here, Wonder Man, and then in parentheses, Fox Publications. So I'll read this real quick here, and then this is from Wonder Comics #1. This is, of course, his only published appearance here. Wonder Man is a fictional superhero created by American cartoonist Will Eisner, whose first and only appearance was in the comic book Wonder Comics #1, cover date May of 1939. The character is of some historical significance due to a lawsuit that resulted from his only appearance. Okay. Now, going here, publication information, Fox Publications, first appearance, Wonder Comics #1, May 1939. That was cover date, created by Will Eisner. Alter ego, Fred Carson. Abilities, vast super strength, speed, stamina, multiple extrasensory and vision powers, invulnerability, longevity in flight. As we know, a lot of characters have that, though. Have a lot of that.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Let's see. And then just to kind of give another perspective here, I'll read about the lawsuit here. And from what I understand, this is actually like a couple days before this comic was actually published. So on March 15th, 1939, DC Comics brought a copyright infringement lawsuit against Fox, due to the character similarities to Superman, as well as story and illustration elements that were similar to previous Superman adventures. The case was brought to court in Detective Comics 111 F 2D 432 2D circa 1940, in which Eisner defended the originality of his creation, despite his testimony, and the subsequent decision forced Fox to drop the character after just one issue. Wonder Comics, however, continued as a title featuring Yarko the Great in number 2, then changed its name to Wonder World Comics featuring the Flame in number 3, and continued for another 30 issues. So just a little
Okay,
more.
I gotta check out this flame character that they have because I have a flame character.
Again, in a couple months here, I'll probably be reading him as well. So
Yeah.
just hold tight. I'll be looking at him anyway. So now that we got some of the basic information out of the way, and I've already read off his powers and stuff like that. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna actually go to, as the saying goes, we're gonna go to our feature presentation, as it were. All right.
Eastern Faucet.
There's
Fox. Vander Comics. Oh, number 2. Ja.
Well, the thing is,
Oh.
it was Wonder Comics for a couple of issues here, then went to being Wonder World, starting with issue 3. So
Ah.
here's the okay. Now what I'll do, I'll probably read like the narration. I'll read like probably the main character and the female characters, and then if you wanted to try to read some of the supporting. Now, Rick, if I can have what I want you to try to do too, if you can, try to vary. If you can, try to like vary the voices a little bit. Don't just cold read it if you can.
I will try, sir. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I think I could do this. Yes. Yes, I think I can.
All right, so let's look at that. So here's Wonder Comics number 1, May 1939, 10 cents every month, featuring 14 pages of the daring superhuman exploits of the Wonder Man.
I guess that's not going to be true.
Uh, well, when they originally printed this, that was,
Their intention.
yeah, 64 pages of thrills in full color, 1,000 prizes given away free. So you got him in like a red and yellow costume here.
Yeah, with yellow hair.
Blonde hair.
Yeah, I must admit, Superman's costume was a little better.
Yeah.
There was very little creativity on that costume.
Yeah. And then here's just a better, I guess, a better color scheme of the cover there.
Yeah, better scan or remastered.
Yeah. And Winged Wonders here. Let's see. Oh,
About
we might come back to.
planets.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to. Oh wait, I did say I was going to. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Make sure that. Hold on. Hold on. All right, copy. All right, I didn't necessarily want to do that yet. Let's see. Coming back here. All right, Rick, I'm about to send you the link in the private chat here.
Okay, well. Okay, well, I'm just gonna read. I can see it on screen here with you, so I'll read it as you
All right.
show.
Okay.
But
Just
that way, I'll have it for later to check out if I, you know,
all right.
get interested in the story. Although the Wonder Man one, I won't be able to go to number 2 and read, unfortunately. Which it'll probably end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Well, what we'll probably do, we'll read through it and then see what happens from there. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let me see. So let me also just. Okay. Actually, it looks right now. Let's see. Let me just check the. Okay, we're at 150 magnification. It does look like the lettering is clear enough. So, all right.
I can see it pretty clear myself here. So
All right. So, um, thus was Fred Carson, the Wonder Man, endowed with supernatural strength and pledged to be forever champion of the oppressed, defender of the weak, and relentless foe of all evil that is evil and unjust. He is known to the world as Fred Carson, a timid radio engineer and inventor. Okay. So do you want to try to do that guy right there?
okay. So Fred Carson, wear this ring as a symbol of Herculean powers, which with which you with which you are endowed. As long as you wear it, you will be the strongest human on earth. You will be impervious. And now, in the name of humanity and justice, go forth into the world.
All right then. So let's see what. Okay. So all right. Look here, Carson. Look here, Carson. Ever since you returned from Tibet, you've been doing great things in your department. But I want you to stay there. I've no time to listen to your goofy ideas. But it's a new type television apparatus. It is so small you can carry it on your belt. Here I made a model of it. Say, that's not a bad idea. It would be good for field operations. Like,
I wonder if he's talking like a portable camera, like or camcorder.
hello, hello, Dad. I've just dropped in to tell you that. Go away, Brenda. I'm very busy. See me later. You know why? You know why I was doing kind of the breathy thing right there?
Trying to get the
Trying to
girl
do a
voice.
little bit more of a feminine voice there. Not necessarily go too high, but just trying to make my voice softer.
Yep.
As soon as I can find the cursor here. Alrighty then. Ha ha ha! Come. Wait. Ah, come now, darling. Don't be angry with me. I only need about $2,000. What? Are you crazy? Why don't you do something else besides spending my money? I am. I've joined the Red Cross. I'm sailing for Tatonia tomorrow as a first class nurse. What? There's a civil war there. You'll be killed. Looks like the boss is going to have a tantrum. I'd better get out of the room. Hey, Carson, don't leave me. I've got an idea. Come back here. I want to introduce you to my daughter. How very interesting.
Actually, it says uninteresting.
Oh, yeah, okay. How very uninteresting. Fred Carson, this is my daughter, Brenda. You're going to accompany her to Tetonia. She's got the question mark over her head.
Huh?
I refuse to be chaperoned by this um, inventor person. I'm no nursemaid. Won't be a chaperone to a scatterbrain debutante. You know what a debutante was, right, Rick?
Yeah, somebody of high society.
Right. Back in the radio room, Fred twirls the dials of his range televisor. I have more important work than trepsing around after. Hello, what's this? Thousands of homeless refugees begging for food. The invading soldiers can be seen firing on the crowd. In hindsight, maybe I could have had you do. I could have theoretically had you I could have theoretically had you do the father there. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
A few minutes later, Carson reappears in Hastings' office. Mr. Hastings, I've changed my mind. I'll accept that offer. You want to start from there?
Good. It'll be a swell chance for you to use your new transmitter.
I'm in a hurry. We're going by plane. Well, what's the rush, Mr. Carson? Don't walk so fast. I can't keep up with you. 1 hour later, a powerful low-winged monoplane points his nose eastward. And Rick, if you can also if you keep an eye and see if anybody's saying anything.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Do 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 do.
Right now, the only thing saying anything is you, person.
Just trying to keep the viewer count up.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no.
And 12 hours later, see, there's the Red Cross base below us. I'll land and you can report for duty. All right. So, okay.
Oh,
So,
the thing.
so I'm thinking, you do the first. Okay. So the yes sir and the two middle ones I'll do, and then you do the two external ones there. Okay.
Okay. So you flew all the way from America?
Yes, sir. Why, Reggie, what are you doing? What are you doing here? I thought you were in Florida.
Brenda!
Okay. Okay. So Yeah, so I'm having you do Reggie there. So, and then the next page starts with Reggie.
Okay, the next one. Oh, I was so bored. I came here to watch the fun. Who is this?
By the way, I want you to meet my chaperone, Mr. Carson, my fiance Reggie Barold. Glad to meet you. You're Playboy Barold, aren't you? You know what a Playboy is, right?
Yeah, look here. I don't like the way you said that.
I'm sorry. Suddenly, a radio operator dashes into the tent, shouting, "You want to hit
Get
that?"
get ready to evacuate the base. Enemy planes are coming. Hurry!
Out of the south comes a droning bombing plane. In a few minutes, the hospital base is evacuated. 3 persons remain.
Let me guess what persons are.
Oh, we'll see soon enough.
Come, Brenda. We must get out of here. I don't want you to get killed.
The
Or I
plane,
don't want to get killed.
uh, the plane. Let's get into the plane. But there's only room for 2, so Brenda and you take the plane. Thank you so much, Mr. Carson. I hope you'll be all right.
He'll be okay. Come on, Brenda. So long, sucker.
I think you're right. That does say sucker. A few minutes later, the plane roars into the air. Alone on the deserted field, a transformation takes place. Fred Carson removes his outer garments and becomes the Wonder Man, mightiest human on earth. The Wonder Man awaits the coming of the insurgent bomber. Bomb hospitals, will you? I'm going to teach you a lesson. The plane swoops low and releases a deadly bomb. With uncanny accuracy, the Wonder Man leaps into the air. Catching the bomb, he would um, he would a mere catching the bomb as he would a mere baseball. Look at that! Look at how he caught that. Doesn't that look kind of interesting there, Rick?
Yeah, catching it as your baseball. Yeah, well, I guess so. Although I wouldn't catch a baseball. But when I'm playing catch, I usually have a glove.
Technically, they tell you that when you're trying to catch a ball, you should actually use both hands, your gloved and your.
Yeah.
That's technically, using both hands is technically the proper way to catch a baseball, not just. I know you see a lot, particularly outfielders, using just the one hand to catch a ball, but technically you should be using 2 hands to catch a ball.
Yeah. Also, I must say, I think they used the wrong frame of reference here because it looks like he's catching it more like he would catch a football, and then
Oh
with the
yeah,
right hand.
like you would catch a punt, like you'd be taking a punt, a punt to return it.
Yeah, and then he's tossing it almost like you would a football too in
Yeah.
the next frame.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at it, because and I get the point you made there, because look at it is a bomb, it's a missile, and it is shaped more ovular, much like a football, a pigskin, as it were. So
Yeah.
good observation there. And back on the ground, he performs an amazing feat, hurling the bomb 1,000 feet into the air, smashing the plane to smithereens. And again, hurtling the bomb. We've heard that expression in football too before, right?
Yeah.
When they throw a long pass, they call it a bomb.
Yeah.
So good observation there, though. Okay. Do we have anybody joining us thus far?
No. But I. Bleh. Chris said he did contact you on Facebook, I guess. So maybe he's sent you a message since.
All right, I'll check that.
Or I think that's what he said. He said you think he'd respond to me here, but I did respond already. I told him you don't have Twitter.
Well, I don't see a new message. I don't necessarily see a new message from him. Like the last message on here is when I said trying to. He did indicate to me before that he doesn't like to use Messenger as much.
Yeah.
But what did he say in response to you though?
All he said to me was, "You think he'd message me here, but I did respond already." Laugh out loud. Okay, so I don't know how he responded or where he responded.
Well, yeah. I don't have his response on the if he's talking about when he told me that like let me go back and check that again, but I think let's see. Just real quick here. So that was me. Oh wait. That was me. And according to this, he did see that at 152 apparently. But the thing that his last response, I believe. Okay, I'm trying to see if he. All right. So, actually, the last response I have from him is from a while ago. But wait. See.
Unless he emailed you or something, I don't know. Does he have your email?
Not that I know of. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see now. Yeah, I don't have anything since. Like one of the things I do know one of the things he told me before is that he doesn't like to use Facebook Messenger as much, but
Yeah.
and I'm not on Twitter though, so
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll try and get in touch with. Well, not right this second, but I'll try and get in touch with him later and see whether I can confirm for you that he can do the 5th of August.
yeah, just
And then I'll
just
let
so I
you
can
know that
start
he's
just so I can start setting things up, setting it up to where we can start setting them up, after the shows as opposed to me trying to reach you guys on like Messenger all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, back to the story here.
The real stuff.
Yeah. Now to get the refugees safely back to the border. In a bound, he is off toward the battlefields, covering hundreds of yards with each bound. And of course, you can also, if you want, you can try to send him a message that what we're doing right now. If he wants to come in and check out what we're doing right now, you can send him an invite that way too.
Yeah.
Anyways, teaming with wailing mothers and groaning invalids, a refugee truck lies stranded in the mire. Look, a man in red.
Great Caesars, he's lifted it out single-handedly.
Okay. Take the road northward There's a hospital based there.
But who are you?
Hmm.
He didn't even answer. He just ran off.
You want to do the other one too? Just try to do it.
Yeah. Ran, you say? He's flying through the air with each leap.
Ah, good. You're doing good there with those supporting characters. Behind a group of rocks hidden from view, the Wonder Man talked briefly into his invention, the tiny radio transmitter. Now's the time to test my special telephone. Hello, Red Cross base. Red Cross base is now safe. Send nurses back. At Rebel headquarters.
General Attila, we have 2 prisoners here. We brought their plane down.
All right. Bring them in. Reggie Barreled and Nora Hastings. Yeah, I actually when I was reading some of the notations on this, they did mention this. They somehow mid-story they changed her name,
Okay.
which was I think was kind of again back in these days the editing was a little looser, obviously.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
You can't do this to us. We're Americans.
Ho, 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 ha! Very funny. General Attila can do anything.
Look here, General. I'm a wealthy man. If you free us, I'll give you any amount of money you ask.
Reggie? Ha ha! I'll accept only I'll keep both you and the money. Take them away, Sergeant.
Get going. You.
Meanwhile, outside the building in which Attila has his headquarters, the war-weary people clamor for food.
Food! We don't want war! Give us food! Food!
Very good. Mingling in the throng is the Wonder Man. I thought you people were winning the war.
No one wins a war. No one wins in a war. All the food is used for soldiers.
I think it's about time someone stopped this horror. Where is General Attila's office?
There, but it's heavily guarded.
Wonder Man crouches for a spring, and before the startled eyes of the crowd, with a resounding crash, Wonder Man is through the wall of Attila's office. Pardon my unusual entry. What's this? Who are you? Guard, help! A guard answers the call. Calmly, the Wonder Man seizes the man's rifle and snaps it in half.
Holy bullets! Don't. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's still General Attila there, and I'm doing him. Holy bullets! Don't kill him. Bang, 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 bang!
Yeah, I
And
thought it
look
was
at
the
that.
soldier. Sorry about that.
He's got him up over his head. Lifting the frightened soldier, Wonder Man throws him boldly through the door. And now, Attila, I'm going to stop your little war where your ammunition works. Beer at the end of the town in the prison. Here's a little love tap to put you to sleep till I get back. In easy strides, the Wonder Man leaps from rooftop to rooftop, bridging gaps of 500 feet wide. At the arsenal, his approach is noted. Guns are trained on him. Boom! Fire! Look at that, he's catching it again.
I'm not sure whether he's catching it so much as letting it slam into his hand.
Yeah. Leaping forward, throwing back shells, Wonder Man reaches the guns. His steel muscles bulge as he lifts a tremendous siege gun from its emplacement. Frightened, the soldiers flee as Wonder Man continues the wreckage. Cannon after cannon comes crashing to Earth. This should hold them for a while. Now to release prisoners and dole out food. The dungeons below the arsenal are crowded with prisoners. Among them are Nora and Reggie.
Oh, what will we do? Nora, we must get out of here.
Stop whimpering, Reggie. I'll use this gun on the guard. Shh, here he comes. As the guard passes, put up your hands, let us out of here. Instead, a hand seizes the gun and crushes it in its grasp. The Wonder Man reveals himself.
Who are you?
He's wearing a mask. It hides half his face. Don't ask questions. Just get away from those bars. With barely a strain on his wondrous muscles, Wonder Man pulls the bar out. But a few seconds later, all prisoners are free. Oh, Reggie, even with that mask, he is handsome. Yeah, you young lady, get all the women and prepare to dole out food to the people.
But, oh, help!
You, Reggie, come with me. Once again, Wonder Man is off, leaping from building to building.
Let me go! I'm gonna fall! I'm afraid I'm gonna fall!
On the roofs of the granary, you go down to the streets and keep the crowd orderly while I get food.
But there's so many of them.
Go down or I'll throw you down, you coward. People's lives are at stake.
Okay.
And think about it. Reggie wanted to come and see the fun, right?
Yeah, he's experiencing the fun now.
Yeah. And when we're finished with the story and we get into some commentary, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. I'll put you that way. But Reggie's attempts prove futile. The crowd is in a state of chaos. Guess I'll have to take a hand myself. Endowed with mighty lungs, the Wonder Man bellows above the tremendous roar of the crowd. If you all line up in an orderly fashion, everybody will be fed. Coveted by
Cowed?
Cowed by the astonishing feat, the crowd quiets down and forms a queue.
In other words, a line.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the vaults below, Wonder Man goes into action. Get away from that vault. Wonder Man throws the soldiers out of his way like so many little toy objects. With no apparent effort, the Wonder Man rips through the steel doors. Look at that. Isn't that impressive?
Yeah.
The Wonder Man carries food to the people. What a waiter I would make.
I've only got one problem with this.
What?
That there is not a hole in that wall that looks like he could have brought that stuff through like that.
You mean carrying it all like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have a point there.
Even with the little bit of a hole there, even if all those boxes look, except for maybe the bottom one, look way bigger than that hole. So
yeah, but look at how look between the two pictures there. Look at the dimension. Even how they were drawing them dimensionally, right? Look to your left there, and then look to your right. You notice that from a dimensional standpoint, there doesn't seem to be a bit consistency. I think the bottom one seems to be the most consistent of the three boxes because.
Well, not even that, because if you notice on the pen on the left, there's 3 boxes. On the pen on the right, there's 4 boxes.
Actually, you make a good point there too. Yeah, that's another point that I even missed. That you're right. There's a 4th box at the bottom there, but you look at the 3 boxes, the one on the left and the one on the right. The dimensions of those boxes are skewed. They're not consistent.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the things I noticed too. And I'm not necessarily an artist.
Yeah. The artist was not being consistent. They changed. Well, the top box looks like it's about the same dimensions, like the yellow one. Then the red one is completely different. The red and red, and then the blue and red one is about. It's a little different. I think it's a little taller. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's the problem there. And then of course there is no 4th one.
Okay, so anyways, case after case of food is carried outside to the cheering throngs.
That's not case after case. That's them all at once.
Go ahead, Rick.
Oh. Hooray! Food! Thank Kevin!
All right. Okay. Personally, Wonder Man aids in its distribution. Here, give your baby the milk.
God bless you, sir. I don't know whether that's a guy or a girl. Said baby milk, right?
Yeah, so it's natural to think probably it'd be most likely a woman in that case. You know, so toward nightfall, as the crowd is gradually dispersed, whew, I'm exhausted. I'm going to faint. Here now, you did very bravely, Miss Hastings. Thank you. You are a wonder man. I think that's the end of that story.
Could be one more page where he meets up
Oh
with
yeah, yeah. They're well because they were saying that this was 14 pages here. So okay, so we do actually have one more page here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Uh-oh, poor kid. She's fainted from exhaustion. She's very pretty. Too bad we're worlds apart. Tenderly, the Wonder Man kisses the unconscious girl. Of course, Rick. How do you think people of today would respond to that?
Not good, not good at all.
They would sit there and claim that he's now he's just kissing her. He's not like doing anything else but just he's kissing her. But
Yeah,
but they would try to they would cry the R word faster than you can say Mississippi,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
All he's doing is kissing her,
yeah,
and based on the previous panel, previous couple panels there, we get the indication she would not be that objective to him
yeah.
doing that. So, anyways, all right, and now I must find Reggie. Reggie is found unconscious in a doorway where he ran to escape the crowd.
I thought it said something. What happened?
Get up and take Nora home. You'll find many vacant planes in the field. In a little while, Reggie, still dumbfounded, takes off and heads to the hospital base. Let's see if let's see if there is another page or if that was it right there. Oh, there is another page. I've one more visit to make. With a great leap, he again finds the office of General Attila. We'll 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 stop that. We'll stop the people again. We'll stir up the people again. I'll start another war. Um. Uh-oh. I've come just in time. I beg to differ with you, General. It's no use. Bullets don't penetrate his skin. Bam! Shock! And as for you, General, here's something you'll wear for the rest of your life. If you ever feel like starting trouble again, just look at yourself in the mirror and remember me. The Wonder Man stamps an indelible impression on him with his ring. Okay, so Wonder Man. Okay, so I read that a little out of order there. Wonder Man leaps from the building and is off in the night.
I think that's. Oh no, we do have another page.
Yeah. I'm going to try my radio now. Hello, New York. This is Fred Carson reporting. The war has ended at last. He his clothes over his Wonder Man suit. He is once again plain Fred Carson.
Say, Carson. Say, Carson's gadget worked after all. Great work with this new invention. We'll scoop every radio news service in the world.
All right. A few days later, Dawson arrives in the office of his chief. Hiya, boss. How's your daughter? I got lost in Tarovania, and I guess.
Oh,
That should have been Carson, not Dawson. Oh boy.
oh, she's okay. Thanks to Reggie who saved her life. He told me all about it.
Wait, he did? How nice.
Fred, that gadget of yours worked great, by the way. Who is this mighty Wonder Man everyone's talking about?
Wonder Man? Never heard of him. As he's thinking of Nora, Dora, Brenda, whatever.
Brenda.
Howdy, boys and girls. How'd you like to own a real Wonder Man ring? Just like the one given me by the old yogi, which makes me powerful and enables me to accomplish astounding feats. Well, I've personally arranged to get them for you. Absolutely free. Just turn in page 44 for full particulars. Another action-filled Wonder Man adventure next issue. As we know,
Never happened.
that would not be the case. Of course, before we do continue on, I've got to step away for a moment from the computer. I'll be right back. So, Rick, if you want to entertain the crowd a little bit, or you want to pitch.
No, I'm okay. I'll see what's
We've at
going
least
on.
had people come in and liking the stream at least, so
Yeah.
that's been cool. But anyways, just gonna do one quick thing here, and then
Yeah. Well, hello. It doesn't look like anybody's here, but that was definitely nice. I know me and oh, you're still here.
yeah, I'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back. So yeah, interesting. Wonder Man. Adventures filled with wonder that you'll never see. So can we get a roll call out there for anybody who's out there? See who is here. Maybe try and hear from everybody out there. So yeah, that was a good story. I'm sure me and Mike are going to talk about it for a couple minutes when he comes back. Of course, as he was alluding to, I do have my own comic book, The Canadian Shield, who is Superman esque. And of course, I have another one too on up called Snowdrift. The spine chilling Snowdrift. She'll just give you the cold shoulder. Or she'll give you cold feet. She'll turn your summer day into a brisk winter day. Or she can. I don't know what I'm saying or why I'm saying whatever I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm saying that I'm not saying nothing. Uh, Vanderman, Vanderman, Vander. But oh yeah, this week I got in a couple of good things. Well, I got where did I put those books? Right here. I got in
All right,
encyclopedia.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Okay, so before we move on to the next, we're already past the hour mark, so that was a 14 page there. That took a while, but before we move on to the next story and stuff like that, next set of stories, um, here's a $1 million question, Rick. Based on what we read there, do you feel that DC may have had a claim of copyright infringement?
Um. Obviously, there's some similarities. Powers. There's him and the woman. So sort of like Lois and Clark. Um. There's similarities there, but and that he's working for a news organization. You know, but it is through a ring that he gets his powers. We don't know too much of the backstory of how he got the ring, and obviously I
Yeah,
don't think.
it just simply shows us that a yogi gave it to him, basically.
Yeah, we see that one panel in the front. There obviously it would have been neat to see more to that story um thing. Um but I think there's enough differences that I think I'm surprised that these guys lost their case. But I don't.
Or at least they didn't seem to fight it more because because I think one of the points you just made there, he got his power from the like very similar to Captain Marvel later, where you might argue that his powers came more from a magical source, whereas Superman's you could argue, came more from a scientific source,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Because,
more natural. I wouldn't even say scientific
yeah. Well,
because
scientific in terms of okay, so in Fred Carson's case, his powers came from a ring, which is a magical item. We could argue maybe a magical item. Shazam, like when Billy Batson later, when we saw Captain
yeah,
Marvel later, again he was endowed with those
yeah,
powers via
a wizard.
a wizard, and then obviously the he drew his powers directly from the deities, and Shazam,
Six
Wizard of
deities
Oz
and
and
one
all that,
human. 6 deities and one human.
yeah. So their powers were more where, as you were saying, yeah, okay, natural might be the better word to describe Superman's powers. How his body interact, how his Kryptonian body, his Kryptonian DNA interacted with the
The,
Earth's atmosphere, as well as that's why I was saying
well,
scientific.
well, well, at the time it was gravity, not the sun. So we'll say, yeah, with the gravity and all that, because that's what they would have been arguing. This guy's got a ring. His suit looks nowhere near Superman esque. Frankly, Superman's suit is way better. This guy's got a red costume with like this barely white a yellow W that you can't even always make out. This
Now the thing is, though, because again, I've read some of the earlier Superman stories and all that.
Yeah, same here.
Um,
I've read from like the first one to
Now,
into the 40s.
there actually are some similar story element. I mean, yeah, there's the whole, obviously Carson, Fred and Nora's relationship, even though they also bring in that Nora has a fiance, in that, but there's that, but also some of the elements in terms of how he interacted with how some of the elements how he interacted with Reggie and with General Attila I've seen in other some Superman stories. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know, it was like the first two-parter story, for example, when Clark ended up having, I think it was like the title of the story was Warren Sanmani or something like that, where Clark had to, where Clark actually kidnapped munitions manufacturer and forced him to be a soldier, forced him to face the rigors of war, similar to kind of like what
now the question is, was that story before or after this?
Well,
Because
that
Superman
story
was
was before this, because what
yeah
I'm talking about is I'm talking about the first two
yeah
stories. I'm talking about stories that were in Action Comics number 1 and 2.
yeah.
It was a two-parter.
The only reason I asked was because I know Superman. The first story was around June, I believe, or May 1938. This is early in 39, right?
Right.
So there's
So,
not a lot of time to have a lot of stories of Superman doing stuff. And yeah, their personalities are similar, but his I think is well, Superman was a big jerk back then. So I'm trying to, put the two personalities. But a lot of times heroes are like that too. They're just that's sort of their demeanor. Especially back then.
mhm.
That they command a presence. You know, and stuff like that. They be a bit authoritative with the villains.
Yeah. Now, if there are people in chat, I know I seem to be the only one chiming in. If there are people in chat, if there's anything here you guys want to comment on or ask about or anything, feel free to comment on, and we'll answer it if we can, or we'll respond. If you guys want in on the conversation and all that. But right now we're just talking a little bit about whether or not there were enough similarities or differences that may have warranted whether or not DC even had DC really had a case. It's just that again, I think part of the reason this was that Fox just being a new company and stuff like that didn't have enough means to fight off the law
Yeah.
much. And
Yeah,
there,
and like they sort of had to expect, copycats. People do that. Well, people see something that works and they try and replicate it, right?
yeah, I mean,
Superman
yeah,
works,
I
so
mean,
everybody's going to create a version
and the
of.
thing is, Superman was not the only. It's kind of funny because we talked about this a little bit last week too. When we were reading through John Carter, right? You remember what RJ talked about? How there were a number of different kind of Supermen.
Yeah,
First there was like Gladiator, then there was John Carter, and then there was Doc Savage, and then there was Clark Kent. So you
yeah,
had that kind of archetype available at the time.
yeah,
And of course, Superman wasn't the only archetype you had, though. I mean,
yeah,
we were talking about it, before the stream. I was talking to you about it too, with like Blue Beetle's first
yeah,
appearance, right?
yeah,
Along with Crimson Avenger, Sandman, and Green Hornet. The idea of the kind of the pulp fiction hero who wore the business suit, wore the fedora with the mask, and would oftentimes utilize the gas gun.
yeah.
That was also kind of a.
And another thing I'd say about the Superman S type archetype, you even have them a couple of spots in history, at least that I noticed. Obviously Hercules, very
Mm-hmm.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, Superman is a little bit more powered up beyond Hercules. And then, of course, from the Bible, Samson, you know,
Right.
you know, again, Superman is a little bit more power than him, but, they went
Yeah,
around.
but the archetype of the physically endowed, physically superpowered hero. We've
Yeah,
had that archetype in both in legend and in legend fiction, and even maybe to a slightly lesser degree even in reality, depending upon how you feel about the Bible too.
yeah,
You um so the archetype has always been there. So it almost sounds like if you really think about it, it almost sounds like DC from early on was almost trying to copyright an archetype, which I don't know if that's even really possible.
yeah. Well, obviously it wasn't, because now how many different types Superman S characters do we have between DC, Marvel, and Well, not really. Yeah, you can't. I guess you can't really count DC because they can make their own version of another version of a
Well, I mean,
Superman.
and of course, after they did eventually settle the suit with Fawcett over Captain Marvel, they actually
Well,
bought the character and brought him in, and now he's known as Shazam, so they don't get into a big fight over the use of the term Captain Marvel with Marvel. So basically, and for those who might watch this, later, or if you're watching this now, just think about that. From how we were reading it and so that, do you really feel that what did DC have a case, or were they trying to actually copyright an archetype?
Well, they were definitely trying to protect their Superman-esque character from any sort of competition of something similar. Did they have a case? I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like there, like I said, we said there's a lot of similarities, but there's differences. And although I know this isn't a parody, I believe in law, or whatever, if you make something like 10% difference, then
Mm-hmm.
it's different. And with this guy, because, and I'm not sure whether it was the same back then, but laws today, like.
Well, this was a character that Will Eisner, the same guy that the Eisner
Yeah.
Award was named after, was the one who created this character.
Yeah, and he created the spirit. So is this character 10% different than Clark or Superman was back then?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so, or it seems enough, but maybe a judge wouldn't see the same thing as me. And there's probably a lot more facts in that in arguing the case. I can see it going to court and a judge, saying one way or another. After both people present their case. But unfortunately, DC had the bigger bucks.
Right. They had been established 4 years, where Fox was just starting up. So Fox really, as they were trying to start up, they didn't really have the means to really fight off a big case like this. So anyway,
what's the real lesson in all this? Make sure you're really established and have enough money to fight before you put out a character that's similar to somebody else's that'll want to fight.
Anyways, we're coming up on an hour and a half, but we're gonna keep going. So we're at least gonna try to get through at least 3 more of the stories. Maybe not the full 4 I was thinking it, but at least the ones I originally was going to do. So, you ready to go on to some more stories here, Rick?
Definitely.
All right. So the next one I'm going to do is Patty O'Day. Now, this is the one right here I was going to come back to if we had time. Shorty Shortcake, because we might be reading him, later on down the line. At least next month. Let's see. Wonders That Are True. Strange Calf. Obviously we, with all the time we took with the Wonder Man feature. Here we go. Patty O'Day. All right, I'll do the narration. I'll do Patty. I'll let you try to do some of the other characters here. So, all right, Rick, go for it.
The Devoted is a fire. Send Patty in here quick. Oh, you want me?
Yeah.
Here's her location, about 100 miles. This is a different character, right? No, it is. Okay.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I think it is the same character as the previous page.
Okay. Here's her location, about 100 miles off Sandy Hook.
Boy, this is news. The biggest ship in the world on her maiden voyage.
Snap to it, Patty. Nobody's in on this yet.
Come on, Ham. I hope that was a straight tip we've got to scoop it.
I think that's Patty. There she is. I think that's her, the woman saying it.
On, well, no, I think Ham is with her. I think that's her partner, Ham.
Yeah. Okay. There she is, Patty. Oh yeah, it's not. There she is, Patty. I'll circle around.
Okay. Let's see. There she. Here goes. A good long shot, Ham. Now I've got to get aboard her somehow. Wow, look at this. There's a one. Look at this. What now? Now, my guess from based on some of my preview work of this story, I think she's like a girl reporter, a very gutsy girl reporter.
Like
So
Lois Lane.
Yeah, somewhat like Lois Lane, except her boss doesn't treat her as fragile.
Yeah. Want me to get? Want me to get you? Want me to get land you alongside? Want me to
No,
get you alongside?
no.
Yeah.
Want me to land you alongside? Try it again, Rick. One more time.
Want me to land you alongside?
No, they'd waste time stopping for me. We're right ahead of her now. I'm bailing out. Oh boy, I'm going to land right on the forward deck.
What the deuce is this?
Comet Newsreel, here are my credentials. Let me at the fire.
There's no fire, me lass. Just a smoky bomb somebody set off. You can't photograph it. It would give me the line of bad publicity.
I am Lord Michael Farnsworth, SSH. Come with me. I know where you can shoot your picture. I'm surely grateful to you. These shots are swell. And then there's Ham. Sorry, give me.
No, that's the SSH
Oh,
guy. Or the Fernsworth,
what?
because he
Oh,
showed
oh,
around.
that's right. 'Cause Ham's on the plane still. That's right. What I'm wondering is, how are you going to get off the boat with your films? I'll have to fool everybody until Ham comes back for me. Look out! Here comes some of the crew. Look out! Here comes some of the crew. It's a searching party. Get back of this ventilator quick. I can't let them take these pictures away from me now. Don't worry, we'll hold on to them. All clear. Yes. They think we've come to another part of the ship. I must get back to shore. Ham ought to be along any minute now. Now will you do me a favor? You'll reach shore before me. Will you mail this letter right away? Sure, Lord Mike. I'll put it in the camera. I'm grateful for all your help, but I'm afraid you'll get into trouble on account of this. Don't worry, I have ways squaring things. We'll be friends from now on, what? You bet. I think you're a swell guy. I'm sure we'll meet again, Patty. Meanwhile, you stay here and I'll see if they've given up the search. Gee, I think he's handsome, but he's awfully mysterious. I wonder who he really is. Here comes Ham, now with a rope ladder. And here's a bunch of sailors. Jump for it, Paddy. I'll hold them off. Stop where you are, my lads. Get, you want to see this one?
Get the girl.
No, you won't. Sock.
Stop her, someone.
Just made it. So long, boys. You'll see my pictures in the movie. Goodbye, Lord Mike. Good luck, Paddy. I'll see you soon. And that was the end of that. That one was a 4-pager. Men Who Made the West. Here's Buffalo Bill. I'll read through all that because I want to make sure we get to the main features.
Buffalo Bill.
Usually I'll go back to stuff like this afterwards if there's time, depending on how we. But considering that first story took us quite a bit of Dr. Fung right here. So the next one I was going to do was Gangbuster Robinson. That's the one where there's Wrath of Allah, Lone Hand. There's another Western sport album. There's Garwood, Lefty Grove, some of the sports figures. And you notice too, they did this a lot too. They have like little features like this, little like quick little profile features. 1,000 prizes given away free. Let's see, and that again, too much of a tech there. This is probably the page that. Remember how they were talking about how Wonder Man was going to give them. This is probably the page they were talking.
Yeah, for the Wonder Man ring.
Yes. Movie memos by whoever. There's Deanna Durbin, Wallace Beery, Joey Brown, Laurel and Hardy, a famous comedic duo.
Yeah, they're the only ones I heard of there.
Well, remember, this is all the way back in 1939, too.
Yeah.
Here's the one. Here's the next one I was going to read. Where are we at on time? Yeah.
10:37.
What you mean an hour 37? Hour 37.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Although you're 3 hours behind me, so.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see more people here, just because I think a lot of this stuff would have really been interesting. A lot of people, if they had a chance to see it as we were doing it.
Yeah.
And I know some people will come back and watch this again later. So, Gangbuster Robin. Now, if you understood the history of the times here, what do you think a gangbuster was at this point?
Somebody that busted up gangs.
Yeah, somebody who would go out. Somebody who made it more their like special mission, to like go after like the mafia and all that. So by Harold Vance, Daily Herald, gangbuster appointed by Governor Harmon. Young lawyer is appointed special prosecutor by Governor Harmon. So there you go.
Well, you know what I hate about this one? Well, not this thing, but I'm just starting to notice somebody actually colored in this comic book. You can see the coloring in behind like they put a line through all the article in the newspaper. They drew a beard and all that on the guy in the newspaper.
Oh.
That's not the original art, some of it.
Oh, you think somebody added to it is what you're saying.
Yeah, like
I didn't even pick up on that.
Somebody like you or me. And they, went through the whole article, coloring behind it or on it.
Yeah.
Or that's what it looks like, anyways.
All right. So you wanna I'll try to do Gangbuster Robinson here. He's the guy with the glasses. You wanna try giving these other guys a shot?
If this young punk thinks he's going to make trouble for us, he's gonna find himself in hot water. I have got pull with the district attorney. You want me to do this other guy too?
I figured you could try to do the district attorney.
Okay. Now, just leave Robinson to me. I've always fixed things up for you. Haven't I, Spike? I run this town.
Back at the gang's hideout?
The boat of marijuana is due with the shipment. Sorry. The boat of marijuana is due with ship. The boat is due with a shipment of marijuana tonight. Get ready to pick it up.
That night?
That's the last case this trip. Okay, we're full speed. You stuff right in. Did I say that right? Sometimes it's been a me and a bit of sometimes the way that they word things in this whole stuff. Not a hitch, Spike. Not the watchman on this dock fixed. There will be plenty of dough in this for all of us.
What's going on down there at this hour?
It's a cop. Let him have it. Get this started. Get this car started. A clean getaway.
Robinson has awakened. What? A cop's been killed? I'll be right down. So we see him, he's a blonde guy there, so.
Oh, what do you think of it, Mr. Robinson?
This is obviously a gang's work. I guess the underworld of Capital City means to drive me out by starting a crime wave, but I'm fighting it out. And it looks like our friend decided to do his own little artwork again. Right there.
Yeah.
Looked like they put a beard on him again for some reason. Yeah, look at that. That car had 3 missing treads on the right front tire. Check all suspects. Later,
This is Spike McGinty's place. His car has those telltale treads. Get word to the special prosecutor right away. That's one small car.
they didn't always make big cars back then.
Well, I think that's supposed to be the car there, but if you look at that driveway to go in, or on the bottom, right down to the bottom, the treads are going into that door behind him, right? That doorway does not look big enough, or that garage door. I guess that's what.
Again, you're picking out the dimensional issues there, right?
Yeah.
They didn't draw again. They didn't really consistently draw the dimensions as well.
To fit a car of that size through there.
All right, I gotta make some lighting adjustments here. So just give me a sec. I'm gonna go off camera. Don't read ahead yet. Let me come back. I just got to take care of some lighting issues here real quick.
Yeah, no problem. Right. No problem, laddie. I'd ask everybody out there what they think of my reading, or at least my voices, but nobody's out there to respond. Well, if you're there afterwards, maybe put down in the comments. What do you think of our voices? Okay, so we're not supposed to be going ahead and reading. So what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? So early in the morning. Okay, let's see. Well, you know what? We got a couple seconds here. Let's take my wonderful face off. There is my new ad for Alterna Comics. What do you people think? Well, there might be a couple minor things I'm gonna do if I can find it. I got a version of Canadian Shield and Snowdrift lettering that I'd like and put about YouTube and that down here. But,
All right, I just sent RJ a little message to see if I can get him to his drop by. Well, somebody I guess did drop by because we got another like at least. So,
that's
wow,
good.
hey, Backo. Okay, so
Hey,
what
but
happened? Well, we're focusing on Fox Feature Syndicate this week, Backo. Yeah, so
and hey, Backgoat, how are you? And what happened to what? uh, Mike had to go do something, and I was trying to keep you guys entertained.
well,
But
I'm back now. I just was making some lighting adjustments. So,
yeah,
anyways, getting back now, we can get back to the article, to the story here.
yeah, Mike had to do something to enlighten us.
Nice little
Or was it to enlighten himself?
well, it was more to just give my room a little more light here because like before the show, I usually have to like darken up my mirror behind me and put towels over my windows here to
Yeah,
kind of limit the glare. So, but now
yeah.
the sun's lower now to where I can make some adjustments there. Anyways, moving on with the story here. Um, we haven't enough evidence to pull Spike in yet, even though we suspect him of dope smuggling. I'm going to do a little investigating by myself at Spike's headquarters. This looks like a tough place to get into. I'll have to look at the garage first. This is a car, all right. The back way seems the only chance of getting in here. I hear voices. Now to get in quietly. Want to give it a shot there, Rick?
Cripes! There's a guy trying to bust into the joint.
Meanwhile, inside,
Here's yours, Pinky, and a century for you, Dan. Just a minute, Spike. What you doing holding out? You promised us 200. Now come across.
so what do you believe a century means in this case?
100?
Yeah,
A
or probably
$100 bill?
$100 bill. Another saying like a C note or
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, that's probably they probably if it was used to be called a century, they probably reduced it down to just the C of century, so a C note, right?
Right, that could be.
Backcode said, "I'm a e-scooter idiot. I hopefully put videos up, but Scoot Life is where I'm at." Okay, I have no idea what you mean by that.
Yeah, let's see. Bad go, just chill out. You're cool, Um, Anyways, Rick?
Quiet your moog! I took half for expenses. That's all you get. I'll divide the way I want. One more squawk you, and I'll have the boys give you the works.
Nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and look what's happening there. Ouch.
Yeah,
Ahead,
Spike, here, Spike. Here's a guy was snooping at the window. Well, we're in luck. If it ain't the law, school punk. All because you dumb mugs croaked that cop. Now tie him up tight tonight, and we'll bump him off and float him down the river.
That night, these ropes are almost grated through. If I can only get loose before they come for me. Free!
Time to get rid of that guy Robinson. Come on, boys.
Wham! Shock!
Let go of me!
Oh, go ahead, Rick.
Let go of me, Spike! Let go! Spike, it's me. Where's the punk? Put on the lights.
In the darkness and confusion, Robinson makes his way back to the window on the rear roof. See that right there? Robinson's blast on his police whistle brings the cops running. Here's the gang that killed the policemen. I think you'll also find their cellar full of dope. That should send them up for a long time. I know the underworld don't like me, but I'm here to stay. I declare war on gangdom in Capital City, and this is only the beginning.
Dun, dun, dun.
That might be the end because I think this one was only like 5 pages, but we'll see.
Yeah, unfortunately, their featured story didn't work out.
Yeah, but these other ones, love you all. Want to go scoot about 7 miles. Not for nothing, Cross is killing it. It's all good. Love you, Mike. I'll email this week. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Rick, I'll explain that to you off show.
Yeah.
You may already pick up what's going on there.
Well, not entirely, but like.
But I'll explain that afterwards. Some fun, and then Sparky. This is basically the last story we're going to cover here. Or let's see where are we at on time. And this one might that one was 5 pages. This one's 7. Let's see, an hour. Yeah, this will be the if we had a little more time, I'd have probably gone back to that other story I was telling you about, but we're already coming up on 2 hours, so we're going to be getting past 2 hours here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spark Stevens of the Navy by Robert Kane. Now, do you know who Robert Kane is?
The guy that helped create Batman?
Correct. The same Bob Kane.
Yeah. Here he's going by Robert Kane, but there he went by Bob Kane when he created Batman.
Yeah.
But Bob and Rob are the same, or can be the same name. So
Yeah. Well, Bob is like the shorter version of
yeah,
Robert.
Robert.
So let's see. The scene, a little island off the shore of the Caribbean, just outside of Panama Canal, where the U.S. fleet holding holding war maneuvers. Our story opens at the hideout of an evil gang of notorious smugglers. I'm gonna have you do these two characters. I'll probably do sailor characters more. But before we get into this, let's. I want to just mention like the historical context. Remember, this is happening. So based on what I figured in terms of chronology in their world, um, this is happening in March of 1939. Okay, so if their world parallels our world, at this point, the U.S. is not involved in World War II yet, but World War II is going on over in Europe.
Yeah, it's just started like within months or weeks.
Well, okay, it started in Europe in '39, and then the U.S. got into it in late '41 after the bombing of
Yeah,
Pearl Harbor. So
yeah. But what month? What month is this comic again?
the
Is it
name of the comic or the name of the
no,
company?
no? The month. What month? What month did
Oh,
this start?
March of 9. Well, okay. Cover date's May of '39, but the on sale date is March of '39.
Yeah. So first, when did the First World War start? I know it did in '39, but which month? So
I don't remember the specific month. I can go look that up real quick, but I know
yeah,
the U.S. didn't get involved in it until
yeah. I'm just
41, until after Pearl Harbor, basically. But
yeah. I'm just thinking this
or
might
World War
take.
II. I mean, we said World War One, but we actually mean World War II.
Yeah, I'm just thinking World War II might not have started. It's probably getting close to being started.
Let's see. So I'm going over to. Okay. Actually, it's still a few. You're right. It still is a few months away from actually starting because, according to this, it started on September 1st, 1939. So
Yeah, so
it still is a few months away. You're right there.
yeah, we're close. We're about 6 months away from actually starting. But there's rumblings of it starting, obviously in the thing.
Right. All right. So you wanna go ahead and do these voices here.
Boss, boss, another one of our ships was just captured by the government. What? That settles it. We got to get a ship capable of enough speed to outrun any existing government ship. I've been waiting for the opportune time to strike. Now is that moment. That moment is now, I tell you. I read it wrong and then I just ad lib a little to get the right words out. You know, that new pocket battleship the Navy just built is the fastest ship of its kind existing. Runs as fast as 70 knots an hour. We'll get a hold of that ship. Yeah, yeah. How will we get away with it? Oh, I received a message this morning from our man who is aboard this pocket ship. When this ship, when this ship, which he claims is straggling over a mile behind the fleet, rounds the key, he'll knock out the wireless operator and take over the key. Then he'll signal us to attack. We'll be waiting at the given point in our armed yachts and we'll take over the ship. Then camouflage it. Savvy!
right. Meanwhile, we find the Dragon, the Navy's new pocket battleship, leisurely leisurely cruising behind the rest of the fleet. On board. Actually, I'm gonna let me see if because I'm having a little trouble reading this now. Just put it up a little bit here. Okay. On board, Spark Stevens chats with his fellow operator and
Pal.
and pal Chuck Lawton in the
Wireless room.
Wireless room. All right. So say Horseface, will you lend me five spot? We go on shore leave tonight, you know. Oh yeah. So you can date my girl. So you can date my girl up again. Nothing doing. Why you old tightwad? You're so tight you'd have to oil your hand before parting with a bill. Says who? Says me. So what are you gonna make of it? Why you bleep bleep bleep? Just wait till we get our shore leave tonight. And you can hear some sparkles in the back. Somebody's deciding to be a little sparkler right now. Attention, Stevens, Dawson. There has been too much of these squabbling going on. You two need discipline. Your shore leave for tonight is canceled. That night in the wireless room, you stupid egg. If you hadn't yapped so loud, we could have been on shore right now. Oh yeah, that foghorn you call your voice can be heard all over the seven seas. These guys don't really get along too well, don't they? Let me ask you something, Rick. Do they kind of remind you of another pair of sailors from around this time?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of all the sailors from around that time.
Well, I mean, one who's kind of real like big and fat, and the other who eats a lot of spinach.
Oh, I think these guys get along better than those two, Popeye and Blutus.
Well, whether you want to go by Bluto or Brutus, yeah, but
I think these guys get along normally better, under normal circumstances. You know, just the way some guys get along. You know, belly aching at each other.
Yeah. Hey, Dawson. Here's a message for you from the captain. Sounds like trouble ahead. All right. Sounds like trouble ahead. I knew that there'd be catch up with you someday. Ho ho! Listen to this, chum. I quote, Dawson, you have been permitted shore leave. Stevens, however, will remain on board. Signed, Captain Dorn. And I'll be seeing you. Ho ho ho! Shut up, you laughing hyena. Shore leave nuts. Now back then, nuts is used kind of a sarcastic, like, shucks kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, I've used Shucks, lots of times before. Or the phrase, I should say.
Yeah.
Or shucky darn.
A moment later, Dawson, um, Duntley Mile,
Walk.
Duntley walks down the corridor. Then suddenly, it's whacked from behind. Back at the wireless room, that lucky dog, shore leave. Oh, you again? What is it this time? Got a special message for you to oh, you want, because I think this is the guy who replaced him, not Dawson.
Yeah. I got a special message for you to send to the flagship.
Okay, let's have it. What's the message? And look at what he's doing right there.
This. Now, to let them know everything's under control.
A little later, the boat cuts through the murky night toward the pocket battleship. Aboard, one of the
Sinister, I think that's supposed to be.
sinister looking
Craft.
cronies.
Remember now, no shots unless absolutely necessary. It would warn the other ships, okay? Let's go.
All right. Aboard the pocket battleship, the sailor stands
on duty.
On duty. What the? All right. Hold on a sec, Rick. Before you go on here, I'm gonna shut my windows here to try to muffle out that sound. So I'll
the
be
firecrackers.
Like, yeah. So I'll be right.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me.
All right, I'm back.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So
here we go. Come on, men. Border and be quick. We've taken them by surprise.
All right. So
suck.
Let's see. The unprepared sailors make a valiant fight of it, but are soon overpowered by the armed thugs.
The rest of the gobs put them up, or I'll drill a lot of you. Hurry up about it. Okay, Commander. Come along peacefully and you won't get hurt.
In another part of the ship, Sparks and Chuck sit helplessly on the floor. You dirty spy! You know what you'll get for this. A hand when you're caught. I know what you'll get from me personally for that conk on the head. You bleedly shut up. I know I kind of cut you into that. Had you do that before, but sorry about it. And so, what were you about to say?
Oh, I'm just saying, no problem. It's your show too, so.
And so, and amazing. Okay. An amazing crime is committed. The think of the
kidnapping.
The kidnapping of the Himperch battleship, surrounded by sea captain, 2 boats. The pocket ship is escorted back to the secret cove of the smugglers. Yeah, this print's not all that great. Copy of this print's not that is great. The ship is surely anchored in the cave at the.
I think that's cove.
In the cove at the sailors, and the sailors are headed ashore.
Now listen, gentlemen. Now listen, men. I want you to guard these men right. I'll put 2 captives into each room of our rooms, and I want a man to guard each room till we dispose of them.
Let's see. Nuts. Of all the guys on ship, they had to shove me in here with. Oh, yeah. Well, if you don't like it so much in here, I've got an idea how to get out. Listen. All right, shoot. Oh, guard, quick, he's dying.
Oh, yes. I think that's good. Hey, you, what's the matter?
He's in a bad way. Look at him. As the guard bends over, the quote ailing Chuck, Sparks lashes out with both feet. Sparks rolls over to the guard and removes a knife from his belt. Their bonds are cut in the same manner, and they are free. Now let's get those other guards. Come on, you lug. Ho ho! This is gonna be a scrap. Ho ho! Sparks and Chuck step into the corridor where they are spotted. The two go swing into action. Okay, you mugs, we're ready for you. Sparks and Chuck cut loose with vicious rights. Look at that. Look at that right there, eh, Rick?
Yeah. Nah.
Chuck, look, the other guards. I'll take care of them. I'll take care of them. With Herculean strength, Chuck tosses his opponent upon the others. Oh, look at that! That's quite a bit of a mess, huh?
Yeah.
Sparks and Chuck quickly pick up 4 guns and dash for the open, where they face more of Nick's men
Lynch's men, I think.
or Lynch's men. This is no good. There's too many of them. There's a machine gun on the battleship. Let's get to it. Come on. Suddenly, the 2 sailors dart quickly to the pier and dive off. Look at that. Deftly swimming underwater and grabbing a dangling rope, they climb aboard the opposite side of the ship.
I don't see them. Them there sailors. Maybe they're drowned? Yeah.
Chuck stealthily sneaks up behind the 2 gunmen. Hello! I thought so. Let's see. Swiftly manning the machine gun, Sparks sprays some advancing men. Look, Chuck, we're free, but the rest of the crew aren't. If you take this gun, I'll get to the wireless room. Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll cover you. It's a pretty good story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sparks makes a mad dash for the wireless room as Chuck keeps up a heavy machine gunfire. As if by a miracle, he gets to the wireless room untouched. USS Dragon calling flagship. Mebanus. The minutes seem like hours to the 2 sailors as they make a last desperate stand. Suddenly, Chuck, listen! It's them. It's our boys. The Navy planes taken down upon the looted battleship. The pilots greet their foe with a deadly barrage of machine gun fire. The smugglers drop like flies before the gaggles attack for the ceaseless attack. The evil Captain Lynch falls before leaden death as the plane carry the attack to the shore. 2 days later on shipboard, and so me of the United. It looked like me, but I think it should be we. So we of the United States Navy express our sincere thanks to you, two brave men. We feel this is a fine example of what can be done by two men with an understanding of cooperation. Later, Sparks and Chuck, in a typical cooperative mood. Listen, Mug, tonight you stay away from my girl, see, or I'll. Why you beetle brown baboon? Can I help it if they like me? You blah. Follow the thrilling adventures of these constantly squabbling but inseparable sea dogs. Oh, this must have been a very good. This must have been a very good feature. To
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun to read over the next.
It's almost like a Laurel and Hardy or an Abbott and Costello, but with
Yeah, and then
sailors.
yeah, as I said, because we're well okay. So that's it for that. So yeah. So how did you like the stories tonight, Rick?
The yawn doesn't mean anything about them, but yeah, I like them. The sailor story, especially at the end, was good. The Wonder
Well, I
Man
mean,
was,
we had a good mix in it. We had a
yeah,
superhero story. We had kind of a story with a female girl reporter.
yeah,
We had the naval story, and we had the kind of the crime noir type story there. So we had a
yeah,
good mix of stories there tonight. And
yeah.
you did a good job for me with the voices. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Um,
Some ways, I thought some of them were a little too close to each other, but you're making them up on the spot, and sometimes it's hard to get
okay.
a slightly different one.
Yeah. So, anyways, We're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. I think it's a good time to probably start wrapping up a bit. So we'll probably just go ahead and do the this day in each history, and then wrap things up. And then if you can stick around for a couple minutes afterwards, just for post show.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just okay. So, anyways, let me just go ahead and today is Friday, July 22nd. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. All right. So here we go. All right. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and look back on this day in Nietzsche history. History.
Yeah. Ah. What happened? On the 22nd of July in the previous years.
Let me just do this real quick. All right. All right. So first off, I'd like to wish a happy 75th birthday to Albert Brooks, an American actor, comedian, and filmmaker who provided the voice of Marlin in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, Tiberius in The Secret Life of Pets, and Russ Gargill in the Simpsons movie. So happy 75th birthday to Albert Brooks. Um, for his animation work as well as his comedy work. He's also known for some of his comedy movies. With that. All right. Hey Rick, can you go make a comment on the YouTube page? The thing's not registering me as a viewer for some reason.
Here is my comment. Oh, her is my comment. I forgot to put my E on the end of here.
Oh well, this Hopefully that will get us back up to. Anyway, so with that, we just covered that. So moving on to the next piece in each history, which we go up to up to 1997, as on this date 25 years ago today, WCW held a special Tuesday Nitro. No, on this date from the Jacksonville Coliseum in Jacksonville, Florida. Main event saw the Outsiders retain the WCW World Tag Team Championship over Chris Benoit and Ric Flair. Also saw among some of the other matches, including Lex Luger defeating Scott Norton via DQ, Dean Malenko defeating Mongo McMichael, Eddie Guerrero defeating Hector Guerrero. You actually saw Ultimo Dragon win the WCW television title over Steven Regal. At the time, he was known as Lord Steven Regal. We now know him more today as William Regal. And I think the WWE changed his name as to not confuse him with another wrestler by the name of Steve Regal. So, anyways, on this date, 25 years ago today, Monday Nitro was held from Jacksonville Memorial Coliseum. Well, moving on to the next piece in each history here on this date in 2015, which was 7 years ago today. On this date, 7 years ago today, Betty and Veronica Double Digest number 235 went on sale on this date in 2015. Sold for $4.99 and 160 pages. On this date, 7 years ago today, Betty and Veronica's comic Double Digest, issue number 235, went on sale. And look at that! Now, don't you kind of wish Betty and Veronica were at your side like that, Rick?
Yeah.
That would be something.
Betty Cooper is my dream girl.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm no Archie.
Right. Anyways, with that, now moving on to last piece of each history, which is just from 5 years ago today. As on this date, 5 years ago today, the anime, the Studio Dean anime, The Reflection, debuted on this date 5 years ago today. I believe it debuted on NHK General TV. So on this date, 5 years ago today, Studio Dean's The Reflection.
Created by Stan Lee?
Apparently, yeah. It's a Japanese animated, co-created by writer Stan Lee and director Hiroshi. Well, let's just make sure this is the same Stan Lee we're talking. Yep, it is. American comic book writer, editor, publisher. Yeah, so towards the end of his life, I know he started getting a little bit more involved in some anime stuff, as well.
Well, that's just animation, right? So.
Yeah. So,
and then I see Vic Mignogna did the voice of one of the characters there.
Yeah, he did. He did. I think it was the lead character, because that was still a couple years before all the bleep went down, and yeah, I guess that's the main character, Exxon. And speaking of Vic Mignogna, because I reported on this the other day, I don't know if you saw this as well. Did you hear that Vic was starting a dub studio with Anime Matsuri?
Well, I heard so. I knew that he was in the news, like a couple of days ago. I didn't know exactly what about.
Yeah, that's what it was, and basically a lot of his detractors are starting to try to kill it. They're going after particularly some of the voice actresses involved, and they're just trying to do their spiel again. So.
Yeah, trying to get these voice actresses out of work.
Do very well. for me, and what I commented on this the other day was, of the voice actors and actresses who were involved in that, the one I was most surprised to see on that list was Morgan Berry, because from everything I had seen of her stuff before, I know she's a very strong LGBTQIA plus advocate, and from everything I was made aware of, she actually would have been more sympathetic towards Monica and them. So it's like, so that was a surprise. And apparently,
Yeah, but most of these people can't think for themselves, do any research, and actually know what's going on. They just follow the party line,
yeah,
for lack of a better way of saying it.
yeah, which is why again, Morgan Berry is somebody, as I said, I think she actually did admit that she has come out of the closet, so she is a lesbian. So and I know she's a very strong advocate for the LGBTQIA plus agenda. But anyways, you can always go back to my show from a couple of days ago if you want to go back and look at my coverage of that.
Yeah.
But with that, that's all we have for you guys tonight. I thank everybody for dropping in. I do thank everybody for all the likes and shares. I would have hoped, of course, people would have stuck around, because I think we really did go through some good stuff tonight. So
Yeah.
I think I went through a lot of information that I think a lot of people would have found very interesting.
Yeah.
So with that, I thank everybody, and we will wrap this up. And next week, so I hope to see everybody back here on Monday for more Niche news. And the next Friday, RJ Carter from Critical Blast will be joining me. We'll be covering quality comics. We'll be looking at Feature Funnies Volume 1, Number 20. The last issue to that book will be under that name.
And then hopefully the week after that, you will have Chris and Diane.
Well, I'm going to wait to confirm. And
that's why I said hope. You hope to have.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thank everybody, and I bid you adieu. I hope to see everybody back here on Monday. Bye.